one more time tonight. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Welcome to the jungle. I just bring you to your knees. Take me down to the paradise city where the grass is green and the girls are pretty. Oh, won't you please take me home? I wanna go. I wanna know. Oh, won't you please take me home, baby?
Hey everybody, wow, that's a really foggy display there, but we'll figure it out as we go. This is Talk Wrestling. We are being hosted by the Jeff Meacham Network, but we're also on the Casting Studios, the Greg Cherry brand, and of course the flagship NoDQ.com, where this whole crazy adventure started, for this show anyway, 15 years ago. Crazy, it's going to be 15 years on July 16th, 15th? 16th, I think it's 16th. Anyway, welcome to the show. NXT is off the air. We are live across the channels, across Facebook, across Twitter. God bless you guys for watching. Make sure you hit that like button wherever you may be watching this. Give us a subscription if you're on the channels, because we need the love, kids. Humanity's all about lovey and touchy and feely. We want that adoration from our peers and from our fans and from our followers. So please send that our way. I am wearing the Guns N' Roses shirt today along with the Jeff Meacham Network hat, because as you saw during the course of the trailers, Paradise Kitty is back on stage this Thursday night at the Whiskey A Go-Go here in Hollywood. I will be there, God willing. I guess they're going to be in Vegas this week, or at least Jenna is. That's what I saw on her social media. So it's going to be a cool week for her. It's going to be awesome. Awesome to see how things play out for the Kitties coming up here in the next few days. So be on the lookout for coverage of that from this guy. I'll definitely be recording as much as I can within the realm of possibility, because the whiskey is not exactly video friendly a lot of times as far as getting the proper setup, but we'll figure it out. We always do, right? Anyway, thank you all again for watching Talk Wrestling here on wherever you're watching Talk Wrestling. You know, I prefer to be Jeff Meacham Network, I'm not going to lie, but I do appreciate the opportunity to simulcast on NoDQ on the Casa Teen Studios and the Greg Cherry brand each and every Tuesday night after NXT. According to the chat room, the main event was awesome tonight. I will be watching NXT as soon as I sign off here because it'll be 8 o'clock when I sign off. So that's how that works, kids. East Coast is a mucker further, but there you go. Hello, Chris. Hello, Brandon. Hello, Matt. Hello, Josh. And Brandon says, "Who day bring the AFC Championship home to Cincinnati?" I'll tell you what, guys. I talked about it during Dory-Lou's Sports Bar this afternoon, prior to doing the prediction show for the Rumble, which will re-air, by the way, on the Jeff Meacham Network Thursday night while I'm out of the office. Everybody knows I'm a Cowboys. We are Cowboys house here at Casa de Meacham, but seeing my dad overjoyed for his hometown, origin town, I should say. He's a SoCal boy, but he was born and not quite raised back there in Cincinnati. It was awesome to see him be overjoyed for the Bengals getting to the point where, for the first time in multiple decades, the Bengals are one step closer. It has been so long. This is the first time that Bengals fans have been able to text each other and say, "Hey, we got through to the next round." That's how long it's been, for the record. So we're very happy here that the Cincinnati Bengals are in the AFC Championship game coming up on coming this weekend. So it'll be cool. It'll be a good weekend. We got the Rumble coming up. We got NFL coming up. We've got all kinds of fun stuff ahead here in the Meacham House and on the Jeff Meacham Network. So please stay tuned as we go along in the week. Again, I had planned to talk about what's going on in wrestling. I realized it didn't load any of the graphics I wanted to load. It's all promotional shit. I'm a complete shill. What can I say? But again, everything revolves around Saturday night. The Royal Rumble is coming up. It is the official start to the road to WrestleMania 38, which will be, of course, in Arlington, Texas, at AT&T Stadium again for the first time since 2016, second time overall in that venue. And of course, that's where they broke the WrestleMania attendance record back at in 2016. So there you go. Going to be a good show here in St. Louis coming up Saturday. We've got a lot of good quality matches lined up for the Rumble. You've got the 2 Rumble matches, of course. You've got the 2 world title matches. You've got Becky versus Doudrop, which, yes, it is a throwaway match in and of itself, right? But you've got Piper Niven, who is a solid, seasoned wrestler overseas, and you've got Becky Lynch, who, love her, hate her, whatever, she's still one of the best around. It'll be a solid match, I think. I hope it will anyway. It shouldn't be a squash. I hope they don't just flat out squash Doudrop Piper Niven out of existence. That would suck. And then you've got the Edge and Beth Phoenix versus Maurice and Miz match, which it's a mixed tag team match, but it's a Hall of Fame couple against a couple that will very likely both be in the Hall of Fame themselves one day. So you got a solid 2, 3, 4 hours there coming up on Sunday. I'm looking forward to it. Or Saturday rather. I'm looking forward to the show. Josh says he's turning on the Bengals on principle because the last thing we need is Patrick Mahomes' fiance being Patrick Mahomes' fiance again. Plus, no one likes Jackson Mahomes. Yeah, we talked about that during the sports bar, my friend. Psycho Jet Buck says, imagine if Amazon bought Ring of Honor, Impact, or NWA and have wrestling be featured on Amazon Prime. I would love that. Now, I will say this. I don't get Ring of Honor's main feed in my area. I have to wait for the Fight TV feed, which I think is a couple of days delayed, which isn't the worst thing. At least that's how it is. That's how it was part of the hiatus. I don't know if they're going to restructure that part of their presentation. We'll see what happens on April 1st, right? When a Supercard of Honor takes place. NWA, the shows are free on YouTube again. You just have to wait a few extra days to see them. If you subscribe like I do, for the $5.99 a month or whatever it is. I know they offer, a discount if you pay for a year, but I ain't paying for free and I got to shine money up front. I get to see NWA every week. And Impact again is on Access TV on Thursday nights. If you get Access TV, cool. If not, there's ways to find it. Again, the exposure from Amazon Prime would be awesome, but I don't think it would necessarily be a huge difference in any of those 3 companies' existence. I don't believe it personally. I've been wrong before, Lord knows. Let's see. Josh says the women's rumble. Oh wait, I skipped over your men's rumble. The men's rumble. I genuinely haven't been able to decide which 3 I'm picking for the no DQ thing. Of course, if you watched earlier, we have our no DQ Galaxy predictions pool as we do every month, or every pay-per-view, every premium live event. Let me be clear on that now. I typically do a Raw, SmackDown, Dark Horse pick each year. It's crazier than 2017 Rumble. It very much is. This is one of the most unpredictable Rumbles, both of them, really. I mean, the women's is a little bit easier, and even Josh here says the women's Rumble, my SmackDown pick is Shotzi, my Raw pick is Ronda, my Dark Horse is Lita. I actually, if you watched earlier, I picked Ronda as my top pick, and then I did pick Bianca Belair to repeat as my secondary choice, and my long shot, my 1 point pick was going to be Lita, because they're going to have her more involved than just Rumble and done. So it could be interesting to see how that goes. So there's that. Let's see. Dwayne says, what up? By the way, good job earlier today, Dwayne, during the prediction show. Looking forward to re-airing that Thursday night at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 Pacific on the Jeff Meacham Network side of things. And I realize my thing is gone, so we'll go ahead and do that. There we go. Hi. Because I'm not gonna be in the house Thursday night. I'll be at the Paradise Kitty show, so I'm looking forward to having you be showcased on the channel along with Mikey T, along with Big G and Jerry Slaughter, and Aaron and I, of course. It's gonna be a great re-airing. I had fun today. I really did. I had fun doing a panel show or prediction show in a long time. I mean, off of my own channel. I love my channel stuff, great stuff. But the No DQ stuff, it's often been like, okay, here we go. This was fun, and I enjoyed it, and I look forward to doing more. Chris says, hey, Jeff, I hope you're enjoying the rest of your Tuesday night, and I enjoyed watching the predictions video tonight. I can't wait to watch you guys as many years to come. Keep up the wonderful work. Well, thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. Again, we'll be on the air Saturday with there it is, the watch-along of the Royal Rumble. It'll be on this channel. Let me just go ahead and be screen accurate there. It'll be on the Jeff Meacham Network side of things. And again, it says 7 o'clock. I think we're going live at 6 instead, 3 p.m. That way we're actually on the air before the WWE feed goes live. That way we have a little bit of lead time, as it were. But again, we'll see how it goes. Nathan says, cool. Oh, hi, Nathan. Cool. And Dwayne says, I'm really getting reinvested in Impact again. Yeah, Impact is a good show. It's a fun show to watch. I highly recommend anybody watching Impact Wrestling, NWA, Ring of Honor when it comes back. And that's the thing I've been trying to convey to the jaded fans, if you will, is wrestling's fun. Wrestling's good again. Yes, WWE is still very much playing catch-up ball with their audience, but AEW's good. The NWA has a good presentation. Impact Wrestling has great in-ring competition. The storylines, the goofiness are what they are, but, you know, whatever. You've got MLW out there. You've got GCW now making a huge buzz. There's a lot of great quality content out there if you know where to find it. So I highly recommend you seeking it out and finding it and reigniting your wrestling fandom if you're feeling jaded or indifferent toward the fan side of you watching wrestling, because it's really good stuff out there right now. It really is. Reels and Heels says Warner Media should put AEW on HBO Max and get the streaming rights to Impact, Ring of Honor, New Japan to compete with Peacock/WWE Network. Here's my and again, this is actually I actually wanted to talk about this. I appreciate you putting it in a format where I could make sense of it in my own head before I started waxing proxy on. So thank you, Reels and Heels. I have long thought that I constantly talk about the Pro Wrestling USA concept back in the 80s, where Crockett and Gagne tried to put the NWA and AWA together to compete with WWE on a pay-per-view and then on a touring situation, and egos got in the way and whatever. I think if this cooperation amongst the other companies, I mean AEW, the NWA, Impact Wrestling, Ring of Honor, New Japan, as you mentioned in your post, if those companies were to, and again, New Japan has their own service, I'm kind of good on them feeling like they have to be forced to merge streaming platforms with these other companies. New Japan World is great. I love having access to it. Thank you, Noah. They've got a lot of great content on their stuff too. But these other companies that are still either struggling to get their footing back after being dominant for so long, or AEW, which is doing well right now, but they don't have a streaming platform other than, TNT Network's website or TBS's website or whatever. It's not a bad thought to, pool talent, collaborate on a platform and just see what happens. I personally think there are so many shared talents within Impact, Ring of Honor, New Japan, and the NWA that it would work. I mean, again, New Japan take out it because they got their own thing, but Impact, Ring of Honor, and the NWA definitely have that shared talent pool where it wouldn't be such a difficult thing to have their talent rosters on these different promotion shows and like, oh wait, hey, I saw him on Impact. Oh wait, he was also in NWA. Wait, he was in Ring of Honor last week, or it would be a cool alternative, as you say here, to having to go to Peacock, or if you're out of this country, the WWE Network, to see the classic content, the non-WWE produced content, like the Jim Crockett stuff from the 80s, like the AWA stuff, like the ECW stuff, the WCW stuff. It'd be cool. But again, I'm not booking the territory or running the company. I'm just here. I'm just a simple fan, as Noah Foster would say. Noah, pardon my butchering of your name, Noe Laura. I know I said that wrong, so I'm sorry. They say I've got Raw. My Raw pick is Bianca. The SmackDown pick is Naomi, and the Dark Horse is Liv for the Rumble. There you go. Solid picks. Josh says we need Charlotte and Mickey as number 1, number 2 in the Rumble just for that pop, and so they can both hold their titles. As it, yes, I co-sign on that 100%. That's great. I love that. Love that. Love that. Because of the moment, like being a belt mark like I am way okay with that. That seems awesome to have both champions. The fact that I could have an Impact champion, and again, where are they going to be Saturday? St. Louis, where Empower became a thing in the NWA, where NWA held their 73rd anniversary, and Mickey was a huge part of that. Let's not get lost on that. The fact that that they're going to be in St. Louis and Mickey's going to be in the same city where she made it a point to have Empower be a thing, where she was part of the 73rd anniversary, where her feud with Deonna Purrazzo really got its jump off point. It's all, the business is all, intertwining. I mentioned to Aaron, our fates are intertwined as far as the female Royal Rumble picks. It's the same thing here. Mickey's back in St. Louis. It's going to be great. I got what you meant. That's why I said it how I said it. And yeah, I already read that. So there you go. I had a blast. Was just extremely nervous. You know what? It's funny. I get that a lot even now, and I've been working with Aaron for almost 20 years between audio and video, and I still get the nerves. I was doing my promotion. I was doing my plug during the end of the show. I talked over my damn self. My freaking tongue fall out of my mouth trying to get a promo out. It happens, but you did a wonderful job, as did Mikey. Mikey always does great on our when he's on our shows, when he's on their DQ shows. He does a wonderful job. I can't praise that guy enough. Same with you, Dwayne. Jerry's fun to work with. I love Jerry. Big G's my buddy. He's the reason I get to see HBO Max, which is I love him for that. And of course, Aaron and I go back, like I said, 20-something years. So great stuff. Chris says, what are my thoughts on NXT running an event on the same day as WrestleMania Night 1? Not opposed to it. If they run a premium live event and it's on the network, maybe a little oversaturation on the same day, but not everybody wants to watch this WrestleMania. And I honestly feel, and this is just my personal feeling, the Hall of Fame ceremony and NXT have both been kind of forced in the background because of the pandemic, because of WrestleMania going 2 nights. They've been kind of getting the shaft. I think that's very unfair. So whether they have to run on the same day as them or not, they're not running opposing it. That's the key. If they're not going to oppose Mania, shit, run whatever you want during that day. I mean, really. Daniel says, for the women's and the men's rumbles, I'll pick Ronda Rousey, Alexa Bliss. Impact Wrestling's Rosemary, and the men's I pick Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, Impact Wrestling's Moose. Oh, there you go. That'd be cool to see Rosemary. I've never seen Rosemary outside of Impact, so it'd be cool. And Moose is just a freaking specimen. He's amazing. Can't give that guy enough credit for how awesome he's been in Impact the last few years. Josh says, Bianca doesn't need to win 2 years in a row. Her momentum objectively isn't what it was a year ago. I agree with that, which is why she should win. Get the momentum back. Psycho Jet Black says Stone Cold was 100% healthy and came back for one final match. Who would you like to see him face? My picks would be Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns. Definitely Brock. There's unfinished business there. If you remember, Austin walked out of the company because he was pitched an idea to drop a match to Lesnar cold, no promotion, no anything. And then they had their run in at WrestleMania 20, almost 2 years later, when Austin literally stunned him out of the company. And they've not had interaction since. So there's definitely something there. Brock's a good choice as long as Brock takes care of Steve. That's the thing. Austin and Roman, I'm kind of indifferent. I personally like to see Austin versus Randy Orton. And that's just, the old, Austin was opposed to Bischoff's team when Austin had to walk away, and Randy Orton led Team Bischoff. So there's definitely business there. Thank you, Dwayne, for the $2 super chat. Appreciate that. I'm assuming if it's on my channel, I really appreciate it. If it's on Aaron's, there you go, Aaron. There's $2 for you. Do you think Roxy is going to sign with NXT? I think Roxy, now that she's dropped the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship to Deonna Purrazzo, by the way, it would not surprise me if she did sign with the WWE. And I just don't know if the E would know what to do with Roxy. She's very much and again, this is just my observations in the brief time I've gotten to seeing her. She's one of those special talents that only comes along once every blue moon. And she is young. She's got nothing but upside to her career. If WWE keeps at least the character intact, you don't have to keep the Roxy spelling name right. She can be Roxy, whatever. But as long as they keep the character intact, she has a good future in WWE. If they NXT her character out, she's dead on arrival. Daniel says Moose and Rosemary are my Forbidden Door entrant picks. Right, I got what you meant there. Is that what you said earlier? Yes, you did. Okay. Chris says, do you know Raw and the TV ratings 1, 2, 3 this week? Is that the beginning? Beijing Olympics game assigned getting low TV ratings. Okay, I kind of lost you there in the translation. I apologize. Raw is not going to do the same ratings as the Olympics. I'll tell you that right now. Raw ratings have been what they've been, but the Olympics are a global event. Everybody watches the Olympics as far as I know. I could be wrong there. I know people that don't watch sports, obviously, but if you're a sports fan, if you're a person who has national pride, you're watching the Olympics. If you enjoy seeing the presentations from the various cultures during the opening and closing ceremonies, you're watching the Olympics. There's a reason for everybody to watch the Olympics, in my opinion. And I think that they should definitely, they will definitely get better ratings than Raw has been. Again, that's just a guess. And the Olympics, of course, starts a week from Thursday, February 3rd. There you go. Hello, Ryan. Reels and Heels, as the cricket chirps, says, I think Discovery, after they take over Warner Media, they'll do some kind of wrestling add-on because there's already talk to merge Discovery and HBO Max. That's fine too. I mean, just again, I don't know anything about the specifics of the mergers or whatever, but wrestling alternatives to WWE being on streaming platforms consistently and all the time, I'm great with that. Hello, James. Are we still seeing you Saturday for the Rumble Watch Along? I know I have Noah on. No pressure. I'm just curious. I'm genuinely curious is all. Dwayne says, instead of Charlotte entering 1 and 2 with Mickey, I can see her entering 30, thinking she got the upper hand and gets eliminated quickly. That would be a cool scenario. Again, you've got to get Lita and Charlotte together. That's the match we want to see at WrestleMania. That's the match we want to gear toward going into Texas. So however that happens, that's got to be what happens. Reels and Heels says, my friend who runs ARW here in Florida says Moose will definitely show up there. Well, I mean, if they're in Florida, they would know better than a lot of people. So we'll see. Josh says, Dwayne, I 110% understand, brother. Y'all did awesome. They really did. We had a great time today. Psycho says, imagine if WWE made a Ready to Rumble remix featuring modern WWE stars. I don't, and again, this is just, I know you're being silly and I appreciate that, Psycho. I don't know if today's society and today's breed of wrestling fan would appreciate the movie anything more than being insulted by the movie makers, by the producers. David Arquette was a wrestling fan. David Arquette became a world champion when he shouldn't have, but David Arquette found himself a little bit of redemption here the last few years. If they put a modern Arquette level actor in with these big behemoths now and they crapped on the business and they made fun of wrestling fans, it would get more shit on than it did 22 years ago. That's just the way I see that there. Dwayne says, I heard Hall of Fame is probably going to be taped because it's going to air for SmackDown. I did hear that as well, and not opposed to that necessarily because I know people tend to ramble on and on during their speeches, which I'm okay with if I'm, part of it. If I'm there live, I get to experience it. But if I'm watching on TV, I'm like, come on, let's go. For a lot of people. Some people, I'm like, I want to hear everything. Some people, I don't. Josh says Austin versus Orton or Austin versus AJ. Yep. I'm okay with AJ Styles too. That'd be a great Mr. TNA versus Mr. Attitude Era. I'd be great with that. John says, any way that the Royal Rumble will be good as 2021 Saudi show? Could be. I don't remember the 2021 Saudi show being good, but if you believe it was good, I think this show will be great Saturday. It's booked to be great. It could turn out to be fan-freaking-tastic, but we'll see how it plays out. Okay, the super chat was on the Jim channel. So thank you, Dwayne. I appreciate that. I can't see that when I'm doing this, when I'm doing the control room. So that's why I need a producer doing my own shit. James says, Lita and Charlotte in ring waiting for number 30 to enter. They eliminate each other. Ring is empty. 30 has to come out, step in the ring and win. Ronda comes out. Mega heat, instant one. I love that. I think people would shit on it, which is the idea, right? But that's heat. That's white hot heat, man. No question. How would you feel how would I feel if Del Rio shows up Sunday? Indifferent. I mean, I know I kind of came up over his defense on social media recently. I never had a bad interaction with him. Doesn't mean people don't think he's a bad person or people think he's a piece of garbage. So I have a problem with him showing up in that he's a toxic element in an already chaotic wrestling world, especially in the internet. The dude's got to make a buck, and he's been cleared of what he was accused of. So I'm not opposed to it, but I really don't care, to be honest with you. Lita or Shotzi to face Charlotte at Mania? Lita. Ryan, who are your pick? Oh yeah, you actually. I saw your question on social media, Ryan, in my inbox about the Mount Rushmore of wrestlers. That's a long answer. My picks to win the Stanley Cup this season. Call him a homer, but you think it's going to be the Wild over the Lightning in 7. It won't be the Kings, unfortunately. I always say Toronto because they've got to win one eventually again, right? They've got to do it, right? And in the West, I'm going to be bold again and say Vegas gets there. My question is, if Bobby Lashley wins on Saturday and becomes the champion, could you see John Cena facing him at WrestleMania? No, I can't. Evolution of Pro Wrestling, if you go back and watch the stream from earlier this afternoon over on the No DQ channel that was on at 7 o'clock Eastern, or feel free to tune in Thursday night here on my channel, Jeff Meacham Network, and you'll see all my Rumble picks. I made 3 picks for each match, and we also did coverage of the other matches. So there you go. Thank you, James. Appreciate it, brother. And again, I'm pumped for it too. Can't wait for the watch along, man. It's going to be great. Richard says, so I got into a debate with people online. They tried telling me Sable was in top 3 stars of the Attitude Era over Undertaker, Kane, and Mick Foley. I find it ridiculous. What are my thoughts on Sable? Well, first of all, Sable being a bigger star of the Attitude Era than The Undertaker or Kane or Mick Foley is incorrect long-term thinking. In the moment, she was one of the hottest things in the company as far as how over she was. Howard Stern had her on and gushed over her like a prepubescent boy when she was on the show because that's what Howard Stern does. But she was one of the people that he booked during that time because it was Sable and she was over like Rover. She was in Playboy. She was the first WWF female to be featured in Playboy magazine. That was huge for the WWF. That was huge for Rena. That was huge for Playboy. That was their highest selling issue in years at that point when she did her 2 covers that year in 1999. She was the first person to be on the cover twice in 1 year. That's not a light undertaking by Playboy magazine or by a person on the cover. That's huge. Is she a bigger star than the people you mentioned? Absolutely not. My personal thoughts on Sable, Rena Mero, whatever you want to call her, Rena Lesnar, Rena Greek. I've never met Rena, so I don't have a personal opinion on her. All I know about her is based on what's been in court documents, what's been on television, what's been on interviews, and I don't have a problem with what I've seen of her. Did she, overreact a little bit about the company's treatment of her? Looking back with the hindsight of the PC lens, probably not. Did she go back on everything she bitched about when she went back to company, as far as doing a lesbian type storyline, showing her breasts on TV, and literally making out with the boss? Yeah, she did those things. You know what? So did Brett. And people, including me, shit on Brett for doing it when they turned the Montreal thing into a storyline for WrestleMania 26. So if you're gonna shit on Brett for it, you gotta shit on Rena for it. If you're gonna condone Brett doing it, you gotta condone Rena doing it. It's that simple. And I'm not saying Rena Mero, Rena Lesnar is the same, is a level of superstar in the world of wrestling or in the fans' eyes as Bret the Hitman Hart. Let me be clear on that. But mainstream media star at the time they were both top of their game, Rena's up there. She really was. She had more eyes on her than any WWF superstar at that time. Period. End of sentence. All right. With that hot take, I'm going to go ahead and take a break here. I need to get some water in my throat because I'm hurting. Let's go ahead and show you guys what's coming up for our buddies. If you're watching the Custody Studios channel right now, we appreciate that. All who you are. Don't want to say that in a row. But this is what's coming up beginning April 1st. The night of Supercard of Honor also marks the return of the Renegades Reviews. There you go, from our friends at the Renegades Reviews, Custody Studios, which, again, if you're watching on that channel right now, we appreciate it. Again, we're on 4 channels right now, as well as my Facebook, the NerdQ Facebook, and our respective Twitters. So, again, wherever you're watching, we appreciate you guys watching. I know it's late, so we'll go ahead and keep on moving along here. Let's see where we're at here. Josh says, I like where Chris was going. Reigns versus Lesnar doesn't need to be for the championship. We have Lashley versus Cena, Rollins versus Owens, and versus Big E versus Balor. Oh, there you go. I'm okay with that. Dwayne wants to know where we're going to be doing the watch along. I might chime in if I can. You are more than welcome to come on, Dwayne. It's going to be, again, Saturday night. I think we're gonna go on the air at 6. I know it says 7 here, so bear with me here. That'll be on the Jeff Meacham Network. So just contact me. It'll be going over youtube.com/Jeff Meacham, as well as the Facebook and the Twitter and the Facebook group. And I think we may be actually that's gonna be just on my stuff. So yeah, send me a message. We'll get you linked up, brother. No worries. We good to go. All right, let's get that back up there. Let's take that one off the screen. Josh says it's still so damn weird with the Rumble on Saturday. And again, I think they're going to move to Saturdays as far as the Big Five, so they don't have to compete with football, with sports, Sunday night sports. Period. But we'll see. James says Sable was top 3 females for sure, not top 3 overall. Definitely not top 3 overall. Top 3 female as far as mainstream awareness in the entire history of females within the WWF, WWE, whatever you want to call the company. Sable's definitely up in the same stratosphere as Sunny, and definitely in the same level as Joni, China. I think if you look back over the course of mainstream media, and I'm talking like MTV, like the talk show, the late night talk shows, like drive time afternoon radio type stuff. Those 3 women were covered more than anybody on the female side of things in an era where they just weren't. So, Chris says, okay, well, yeah, there you go. There you go, Josh. We can, you guys talk the Rumble there. Ryan says, even though I'm down on WWE as a whole, I'm excited for the Royal Rumble. It's normally a great kickoff to WrestleMania season. That's it. It is the road to WrestleMania. And as I mentioned earlier in the week, actually yesterday on the Jeff Meacham show, the day after my birthday, which is exactly 30 days before WrestleMania, I'm going to be kicking off my own little show and my little project. It's going to be called damn graphics in the way again. 395 to SoFi, 395 to SoFi. It's the road to WrestleMania next year, and that's going to be every day at 4:00 Eastern, 1 Pacific. On that Twitter feed right there, you see it 395 TOSOFI on Twitter. That'll be a daily basically an accountability journal type thing for me. And that's really what it's going to come down to. Just, keep myself honest about everything I do, be it eating, be it exercising. I did, for the record, I meant to bring him in here with me and I didn't because I goofed. I did get my hands back on the original DDP Y discs I had, as well as the nutrition book, as well as the program guide. So tomorrow morning, man, God almighty, I am back on the path. I had a wonderful salad and baked chicken for dinner tonight, so I'm stoked to getting my shit back together. I'm looking forward to the end of that 395 being me going to WrestleMania down to 200 pounds. That's the goal. Between right now or when that show starts, March 2nd, the day after I turn 39, up until I've been 40 for a month at WrestleMania in Hollywood, in Inglewood, if you will, I am determined to get down to 200 pounds. That's where I want to be. John says, is Playboy still in business? I think they're doing digital. I don't think they're doing print media anymore. Again, I could be wrong. I haven't been a subscriber actually ever. I do have on the other side of the office the entire WWE collection of Playboy cover magazines, as well as the majority of Pamela Anderson's covers. So there you go. They're not in mint condition. They're not worth a fucking cent, but it is what it is. I still have them, and I'm very. It's cool for me that I have those still. Real Neil says, I'm definitely disappointed that the original plans for last year's WrestleMania was scrapped because of COVID. Roman versus Rock in LA. That would have been cool to have those two guys. But again, and again, much like we've talked about with Roman and Brock not needing the Universal or WWE Championship, that battle between Dwayne Johnson and Joe Anawahi, or Joe, I forget what Joe's actual last name is, but Roman Reigns doesn't need to be for the championship. That's about family supremacy, is what that is. So that can main event a WrestleMania without having anything on the line but familial dominance, right? So we may still get that next year if The Rock can clear the insurance companies. And let's not forget also that right around the time WrestleMania season really gets into high gear, we'll be launching the XFL next year. Rock's gonna be wanting to do promotion somewhere. Just saying. Richard says, did I see this interview with Cornette and Pringle on Sable? They said she was hard to work with and thought she was owed everything. That whole interview was gold. I haven't seen it in years, Richard. I know I watched it because I always watched the stuff with Percy and Corny back in the day, even though Corny now is, a bitter pill to swallow these days. God bless Jimmy. He tries not to be an ass. Not very hard, though. But I do remember that. And again, that's two people's opinions about Rena Sable, whatever you want to call her. And again, I tend to believe those two people because I, became very well acquainted with Percy toward the end of his life. And, Jim, whether he's an ass or not, he tends to know his shit, right? So she very well could have been a pain in the ass to deal with and felt like she was entitled. But you know what? At that time, remember when she got that Playboy cover, she was the hottest thing in wrestling, not named Steve Austin. I said it and I mean it. The Rock hadn't even got all the way there yet. Sable did. So, was she entitled? No, but could she have felt that way? Definitely. Sable should go in the Hall of Fame this year, same year Lesnar does. Yes, I would agree with that, just so they can be both honored the same night. That'd be cool. I would be okay with that. Sable was sent to the moon probably faster than Roman Reigns, but I wasn't complaining. No, that's the thing. They shot that rocket to that pretty little ass of hers, and just everyone's like, yeah, absolutely. But again, we're all, that was 1998, 99, where we were, crazy horny teenagers, right? It just kind of was what it was. Just like Chris says, okay, that's the thing. Let's see. Ken, whoa, I haven't seen Ken on one of my shows in a while. Hi, Ken, good to see you, bud. Richard, they should see what Sable is doing now compared to yeah. It's Sable and Sunny are living completely different lives than they were 20 years, 30 years ago, like leaps and bounds different. Wow. Or 25, sorry. Jeff Kedrick says, Jeff, how do you feel about Steve Austin being number one of the top merch sellers, even though he's been retired for 20 years? Yeah, I guess I should remember. And again, this is just, me being a fan then and me still being a fan now, right? If it wasn't the NWO shirt, everybody was wearing the Austin 316 shirt. And the difference is you saw the NWO shirt a lot in pop culture even back then. The Austin 316 shirt was everywhere. You couldn't go anywhere. You couldn't go to a mall. You couldn't go to a concert. You couldn't go to a sporting event. You couldn't go to freaking church, it felt like. I know that's exaggerating because of this. The slogan on the tee, but it seemed that the Austin 316 shirt was everywhere, much like as an NWO fan, I thought it was everywhere too. I bought an NWO shirt this week, y'all. It's going to be here Friday or Saturday because it's a Wolfpack shirt. I'm getting it altered for 999 version. That's what I'm doing. So, both those commodities are still prevalent in pop culture today. I'm not one bit surprised that Austin's one of the top merch sellers of this last year. Not a bit. Let's see here. For the watch along. Okay. Sure. Again, Josh, you're always welcome on the watch along. Absolutely. Big G's here. Yay, Big G. Can I see Edge versus AJ Styles WrestleMania? I would love that, actually. I was going to say I could see it. I would love to see that. Remember at the time that Edge was really starting to come into his own in 06, 07, 08, 09, and toward the end of his run, AJ Styles was still very much Mr. TNA. So you had one of the top people in WWE versus the top person in TNA. That'd be great. Ken says, my favorite lady in WWE was Miss Elizabeth. I can't argue with that. Elizabeth was such a class act. She's one of the few action figures of a female superstar I outwardly wanted to have as a Christmas present, and I got it a couple years ago. She's sitting right over there on the shelf. She's out of the box. I have her displayed, all pretty, but yeah, I loved Elizabeth. First Coliseum video I ever bought was SummerSlam 91. It had nothing to do with, well, maybe a little bit, but it had more to do with the match made in heaven than the match made in hell, for sure. Because I cried like a baby at WrestleMania 7 when her and Randy got back together. And looking back now, it's even sadder because they were falling apart outside of the ring, right? It was just so sad when you think about it. Brandon says, love how unpredictable the Rumble card is this year outside of Becky. Makes wrestling fun to watch. Yep, exactly. City by the Bay is here. Have I heard about the new AEW card set? I did see a little blip about that. Again, I'm not a trading card person, although I will say this. When we do the 395 to SoFi project, I found a binder. There's only one card missing. The original WCW trading card set. I'm talking like 1991, maybe even 1990. Missy Hyatt, Jim Ross, Sting, Flair, the Southern Boys, just people you haven't heard of in a WCW context in 30 years or so. I can't wait to show you guys this set. If I can get my hands on the one card I'm missing, I am going to buy it and I am going to sell the set because the set's damn near mint condition now as it is. So I'm definitely going to get that on the market. But other than that, not a big trading card guy anymore. I have a ton of baseball cards somewhere in this menagerie of shit that I'm going to hang on to for the rest of my life because my father got them for me as a boy and they mean a lot to me. I just don't have eyes on them right now because we're trying to get the hell out of our house. But I always treasure those. But current trading cards never really been a thing for me. Josh, I remember my big intro to WWE gaming was SmackDown vs. Raw 2006 and thinking Tori Wilson was one of the top 3 female stars in the company at the time, only realized she never won the belt. Isn't that crazy that Tori was never champion? I mean, granted, wrestling skill-wise, maybe not the greatest of all time, obviously. We're doing a show on that on Dad's coming up at the end of the year, the top 10 females to never be a world champion. So Tori will be in discussion for sure. Diets really do suck, Ken. Yes. Lifestyle changes can mean everything. And I'll leave that comment there for you to digest. Food. Richard said, I'm getting bariatric surgery. And for post-op surgery, I'm going to start DDPY. Good boy. I love that. I love seeing people starting DDPY. I said this, our buddy Kate Hensler put out a tweet yesterday, maybe the day before yesterday it was, the top wrestlers that inspire us as far as our Mount Rushmore. Right off the top, I said Dallas. I would not be sitting here without having started DDPY back in 2016. I would not be sitting here doing this show. I may be in some sort of diabetic care center. And I don't exaggerate. I'm not trying to be facetious or haha. I'm dead and serious. Without DDPY, I wouldn't be sitting here doing this show with you guys right now. I wouldn't. And he's always at the top of my list for sure. Hello, Ernie. Psycho says, would you like to see Michelle McCool, Layla, Eve Torres, and Katie Lee Burchill show up in the Royal Rumble? Michelle's in the Rumble already. Layla would be wonderful. I love Layla. Eve, I think did one before. Don't quote me. Katie Lee, Winter, Katarina. I don't know if she wants to go back. I haven't talked to Kat in a long time. I regret that now as I say it out loud. Because she's one of my favorite people I've ever met, period, in life. She was our Raw World Champion when we went on our permanent hiatus many, many years ago now. I'd like to see her, but I don't think she will. So my answer would be yes, I'd like to see her, but I don't think she will. Josh says, you got this, brother. I believe in you. I have a whole new workout playlist on Spotify with 3/4 of the songs being inspirational wrestling theme songs. Let me know if you want the link. I desperately want the link. Thank you, Josh. And that means a lot that you're, encouraging me. I appreciate that. Props on the shirt. Yes, actually, funny you mentioned that, Ernie. Let me just go ahead and sit up straight. And yeah, if you guys don't know, this is the logo that Guns N' Roses used for their Appetite of Destruction album. The reason I bought this shirt, actually, I take that back. I got it on a gift card exchange at Hot Topic after Christmas because Paradise Kitty's set. If I can find my Paradise Kitty shirt without making a freaking ruckus here. Of course I can. That'd be too easy. Wait, I think that's it right here. Nope, that's not it. Just kidding. I don't know where the hell it is. Anyway, Paradise Kitty's Guns N' Roses tribute set is basically the Appetite album. So that's why I got this shirt. I love this shirt. It's my first ever Guns N' Roses shirt. And I've definitely become a much more diehard Guns N' Roses fan since one of my dear friends, of course, Jenna, if you're familiar with Jenna over the years with us at No DQ and the Jeff Meacham Network, since they formed the Paradise Kitty Band. All right. We're going to do one more quick little break here. Let's see what I want to run because I don't have very much time. Oh, okay. I didn't run this one earlier during the sports bar, so I'll go and run it now. It's for our buddies down the street here at Undecided Apparel. There you go. Kedrick says, I feel WWE is going to screw us over in the Brock Lashley match. I don't know why. How would you define being screwed over in that match? Before I can answer that properly, is my question. Psycho says, if you can only choose one place to visit, would you rather go to Disney Paris or Disney Tokyo? Is why, because Disney World is actually the one in Florida. Oh, if I have to choose between the Paris park and the original Tokyo park, I will say Tokyo because it was the first of the two. And I would like to see how, because I've been to our park here many times now. I've been to Walt Disney World a couple of times. I'd like to go back there, by the way, take Dylan this time. But I would do them in order in which they were first opened up. So Tokyo, then Paris, then go over to I think Hong Kong was next and Shanghai, and kind of go in the order in which they were opened up because I'd like to see the progression of the Imagineers' creative influence and the progression of the Imagineers' imagination and see how they changed over 67 years. God damn, is it really bad? Yeah. 7 years. Crazy. Bray Wyatt and Jeff Hardy AEW. Okay. Wouldn't surprise me either way for either one of them. Austin is the biggest star in WWE history, arguably, but that's just my opinion. A lot of people feel that way. If you look at numbers, if you look at box office, if you look at merchandise, if you look at a lot of things, he's definitely the top for sure. Sharma Sabzari confirmed that whole match, that merch seller thing list was faker than the Undertaker actually being Death Valley. Well, there you go. I love the NWO Elite. That's what I'm literally going to have my Wolfpack shirt when it gets here altered with the paw print on the back in the house. That's exactly why I bought that shirt. So I love the Elite. I wish they hadn't have got injured so fast and declined so rapidly. Six Williams says, good to see you, Jeff. It's been years. Who's that? Oh, good to see you too. Wow, it has been years. Like years. Wow. Okay, cool. Ken, I did see it. I went past it. My bad. Where did it go? There it is. Call me creepy, Meacham, but I watched your old Talk Wrestling episode, so I had to come back to you, Jeff Meacham. Thank you, brother. It's not creepy, and I appreciate the super chat, by the way. Yeah, it's crazy. I've been doing this shit. This particular show for 15 years blows my mind that it's been that long. I can't even. 15 for that show, this show, and 20 with no DQ overall coming up in October. Just crazy. Jose says, who's next for WWE to collaborate with as far as the Forbidden Door? NWA is definitely up there. New Japan, probably not. AEW, a long shot, but not an impossibility. Dwayne says, I still say AJ Styles should win the Rumble to get him back into the world title scene, but also it can add to his accolades. That I co-sign on for sure. And please make sure you all drop a like for life. Appreciate that very much. Definitely like it. Subscribe. All 4 of these channels, please. Give these channels some love. Like I said, Renegade's going to be back on doing his thing April 1st. It's not April Fool's joke. It's really going to be a thing with Renegade's reviews. The Greg Cherry brand's on every Wednesday with the Greg Cherry Show. Every Thursday with WTCs. He's doing the God, we're live. He is still doing the Championship Contender Tournament every Thursday, so that's ongoing. And of course, No DQ has stuff almost every day. So there you go. Psycho says, I'd like to see Shawn Michaels appear in the Rumble one more time and possibly face off against AJ Styles. I would love both of those things to happen. I really would. How much you thinking for the set? I might be interested. No idea what it's worth right now, City, by the base, so I'll have to get back to you on that. Jordan says, Shayna Baszler winner. I actually, if you watch the prediction show, and I'll go ahead and spoil that part of it now, I said if Ronda doesn't come back, Shayna's going to be in the Rumble, and she might win the damn thing. Chris says, do you think both Rumble matches are wide open this year than it was in recent years? Because I feel both Rumbles are going to be interesting to watch, and every 90 seconds or 2 minutes, or whatever the hell they decide this year, are going to be insane. I agree, Chris. I look forward to this so much. I cannot wait to see what happens coming up on Saturday. It's going to be great. Psycho says, if I could play one musical instrument, which one would I want to play? Guitar, bass, drums, or keyboard? Well, a bass is a guitar. Yes, it is and it isn't. I understand there is a difference. I don't know the difference because I'm ignorant on that. I'll say guitar just because it's a more well-rounded thing. Josh, everyone reaction to Brian not being in the 2014 Rumble will be my reaction this year if Balor isn't in because he's yet to be announced. All right, there's Josh's hot take there. There you go. AJ Styles' WWE career is greater than AJ Styles' TNA Impact career. It ain't even close at this point. Don't know about that, Josh. I'll have to have a debate maybe. And of course, hashtag Cherry for Quizzlemania. Definitely. And then Psycho's going to finish this off here and says, how would you react if you found a mint condition Mickey Mantle baseball card? I'd probably poop my pants. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I would. All right. A lot of stuff to promote here. Let me just go get it out of the way. If you want me to address another question, feel free to super chat it, and I will get to it. If you super chat, I promise I will address it before I sign off. Otherwise, I'm going to power through these. So, last week we had our buddy Adam Contras back on the channel to talk about his new documentary, Official Journey Volume 1. I can't stress enough how awesome that went. Please go back and watch that. Give it a like. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to his channel and The Journey so you can watch it continue right along there as he has gone on here in his path. Earlier today, or actually Monday, we did the Jeff Meacham show where you can that's the new official home of Ask Meach anything, and I mean anything, not just wrestling. You can ask me anything on that show. We also announced on yesterday's show, again, I mentioned the 395 to SoFi project. That'll be more details coming up there in the weeks to come. Earlier today, we did Dory Lou's Sports Bar, which is in place of Statboy Sports Bar, while Statboy is doing his new 9-to-5 job. So we'll be seeing more of Dory coming up next week. But please go back and give that show a watch. We talked about the divisional round over the weekend, the ANFC Championship game, the AFC Championship game coming up, and the Super Bowl, and of course the squares. Super Bowl squares are always out there for sale. Again, we did do predictions for the Royal Rumble on No DQ stream earlier. You can go back and watch that stream Thursday night in this time slot, 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 Pacific, on the Jeff Meacham Network side of things. So be sure you check that out. Tomorrow, the Greg Cherry Show returns to my channel and Greg's channel. We'll be talking about, again, NFL, Royal Rumble, which is Greg's show. He loves Rumble, our Q&A, and much, much more. Thursday night, I'll be at the Whiskey A Go-Go. You should be too if you're in the LA area. If you're not, you're missing out. Paradise Kitty's going to have a kick-ass set. We're going to have a lot of fun there Thursday night. Friday night on the Jeff Meacham Network, we have open mic night, again, with our buddies Noah and James coming up at 11 o'clock Eastern, 8 Pacific, immediately following Aaron's review of it won't be after Aaron's review. It'll be probably during because he'll review Rampage too. So we're competing with Aaron. Tough shit is what it is. Rumble watch along Saturday, of course. I mentioned that. And then there's just a whole bunch of stuff coming up on what do you call it? On my channel coming up in the weeks to come. We've got a Lost ads that I had edited for July of last year that we taped April last year. It will air Sunday night, 7 o'clock, our top 10 all-time Marvel movie heroes. No Way Home is not discussed because it hadn't even been released yet. Our bad. My bad. Not even JJ's bad. 100% my bad. Another Dad's coming up on February 4th. Was supposed to go up earlier this month. Our top 10 non-WrestleMania celebrity wrestling moments. The day before, February 3rd, an old friend from the past. If you're familiar with my Rocky Horror history, Mark Hoyk, the former manager of our theater that we did Rocky Horror in for so many years, that I was involved with for a number of years. He'll be going one-on-one with me coming up on February 3rd. The 17th, we'll be having chamber predictions, which that show takes place the next day, I believe, which we'll be showing. I'm sorry, it's on the 19th, I believe. The 18th, we'll be having our dad's Not Always in Wrestling Top 10 All-Time Chick Flicks. We'll be doing a watch-along of No Surrender from Impact Plus on the 19th. And, of course, subscribe to No DQ. Follow all the breaking news, the TV reviews, the pay-per-view recaps, the premium live event recaps, the No DQ review. Check out the Great Cherry brand where you can check out Season 10 of the WTC seasons and the Championship Contender Tournament every Thursday. And as I announced yesterday, our buddy Lizzie Valentine will be appearing for the first time on my channel, the Jeff Meacham Network, on an anniversary that her and I both share from more moons ago than either of us want to believe or want to admit, right? For definitely. So that's all coming up in the weeks and months to come on the Jeff Meacham Network. Can't wait to get there. Can't wait to show everybody everything. Thank you guys so much. I did not talk about Meatloaf passing. I honestly had not aired my in memoriam for the week yet because it was hard. I forgot. Let me just say this about Meatloaf. It was very daunting for me to get involved with Rocky Horror shadow casting when I did back in 2005, 2006, because that was very much outside of my comfort zone of wrestling podcasting. I had a tumultuous relationship with Rocky Horror shadow casting. I'm not going to lie, but I always felt honored to step into those snakeskin cowboy boots and perform Opportunity Bust My Soul in front of Meatloaf doing it on the screen as Eddie, the ex-delivery boy. So we will definitely see each other up there on that big stage in the sky one day, and I will have to thank you when I get there, for the inspiration. But thank you for everything you contributed to a lot of our lives. And yeah, there you go. Anyway, that was kind of a bummer note, but it is what it is, right? That's what we do. Anyway, thank you all so very much. This has been Talk Wrestling. You're on the Jeff Meacham Network. You're on the Greg Cherry brand. You're on the Casino Studios. You're on NoDQ.com. You're watching me everywhere. Like horse shit. I'm all over the place. Thank you all. Have a good night.